these settlements and all this fake force. All this stuff is old. They tried to put this out back in June 2024, but it didn't work because right after court, I flew straight down to Paris Fashion Week and...
Stop scrolling. After months of hushed whispers, sideways glances, and people scripting her life for her, Teyana Taylor finally broke the silence. And what she revealed didn't just respond to rumors. It flipped the entire narrative upside down. The online atmosphere shifted instantly. Headlines ignited, clips spread like wildfire, and for the first time in ages, the question wasn't what happened. It was why wasn't this revealed sooner? For months, Teyana Taylor had been the story, the murmur, the conspiracy, the name tangled in tales she never confirmed. From love entanglements to career maneuvers, from cryptic posts to deliberate absence, everyone had an opinion, except her. And when a woman like Teyana, known for precision, patience, and calculated influence, stays silent, it's not weakness, it's strategy. But even the sharpest strategy cracks when others start filling the void. And that's exactly what went down. The internet wrote chapters she never sanctioned. People assigned motives. They read every glance. They deconstructed every lyric. They replayed interviews endlessly. And the longer she remained quiet, the louder the assumptions roared. Some cast her as cold. Others as scheming. Some even questioned her integrity. But then came the thing nobody saw coming. When Teyana Taylor finally spoke, she didn't sound offensive. She was razor-sharp, unnervingly clear. And clarity is dangerous when a story has already been written in someone else's hand. The explosive force of this moment wasn't shouting. It wasn't tears. It wasn't chaos. It was composure. The kind of composure that whispers, "I've seen every move you've made." The kind that doesn't scramble to correct lies, but waits for the perfect moment. And when she finally addressed it all, the relationships, the rumors, the pressure, she didn't lash out. She reframed. That's why this moment broke headlines. Because when someone long silent finally speaks, drama is expected. Instead, Teyana served perspective. She revealed the emotional toll of being misrepresented. She acknowledged errors without swallowing narratives that weren't hers. And most importantly, she made it clear silence was never confusion. It was armor. Armor for her peace, armor for her children, armor for her brand. And now people are confronting something uncomfortable. Maybe her silence wasn't suspicious. Maybe it was raw, unshakable strength. But let's be real, this didn't happen overnight. There was build-up, layers of tension, a slow-burning storm under the surface of months. And when someone observed that closely finally responds, every word becomes explosive. The biggest revelation? She didn't plead for understanding. She spoke like someone who already knows herself. And that certainty is what's shattering the narrative. Now, the conversation isn't about what she could have done. It's about what she refused to engage with. And when you stop feeding chaos, chaos screams before it fades. So the real question isn't why Teyana Taylor spoke. It's why everyone assumed she wouldn't. Teyana Taylor, celebrity news, breaking headlines. When she spoke, she didn't skirt the rumors, but she didn't erupt either. That's what made it powerful. She didn't give the internet a meltdown. She gave it restraint. And in a culture addicted to noise, restraint shouts louder than chaos. People expected a fiery rant. Instead, they got precision. She confronted relationship speculation head-on, not with blame, not with bitterness, but with boundaries. She made it clear, the public rarely sees a full story, and private transformations don't require show. That alone shifted. Perfect. Here's a fully rewritten chunk in the same length, paragraph structure, and pacing, but transformed into a dark, suspenseful, cinematic, gossip-style narrative. Everything changed because for months, silence was treated as admission, distance as drama, and composure as enigma. And when Teyana calmly revealed that peace doesn't have to scream, it forced people to rethink how they judge quiet women. She acknowledged growth without confessing to someone else's story. That subtle distinction is everything. She didn't feed the rumors. She didn't legitimize gossip, just because it went viral. Instead, she twisted the narrative toward evolution, how people drift apart, priorities pivot, and motherhood reshapes perception. She didn't spill details. She handed direction. And direction is enough when you know your own power. What truly sent shockwave through headlines wasn't what she denied. It was what she refused to allow. Opportunities to throw shade, to publicly correct, to lash out aggressively. She ignored them all. She chose dignity over spectacle. That angered some, craving drama, but it cemented her authority. She made it clear protecting her children was absolute. That line hit differently. Once kids enter the frame, the stakes are no longer celebrity gossip. It's about legacy. And Teyana Taylor wasn't about to let the internet rewrite her family's story. That boundary wasn't emotional, it was deliberate. Timing mattered too. She didn't speak amid chaos. She waited until the noise contradicted itself, until speculation became tangled, until multiple versions splintered across timelines. Then she stepped in, not rushed, not reactive, calculated. People are realizing now, this wasn't a response fueled by pain. It was a move fueled by control. She let others burn themselves out. When she spoke, there was no screaming, only clarity. And clarity redefines power. The narrative no longer runs from her. It sits there, waiting, and she chooses what to take and what to leave. That's a difference between defending yourself and reclaiming your story. The most striking line wasn't dramatic. It was simple. Healing doesn't need an audience. Growth isn't a press release. And chaos isn't the only way to see things fall apart. Sometimes it's alignment. Headlines are breaking because instead of drama, she delivered structure. And structure can't be weaponized. Tay speaks, celebrity boundaries, control the narrative. Here's what got overlooked. The emotional gravity beneath her composure. Composure doesn't erase feeling. It masters it. For months, the internet scrutinized her every glance as if evidence in court. A quiet smile became shade. Neutrality became tension. Every expression dissected. And through it all, she said nothing. Not because she had nothing to say, but because not every feeling deserves a stage. That restraint is power. Public relationship shifts are brutal enough alone. There are millions of opinions, strangers projecting experiences, algorithms amplifying negativity, and suddenly you're not just living change, you're managing perception. And perception can weigh heavier than reality. When she finally spoke, many missed the intent behind her tone. She didn't soften the pain. She didn't romanticize it. She acknowledged that endings can exist without enemies, that maturity doesn't need spectacle, that evolution doesn't equal failure. That truth unsettles audiences addicted to villains, betrayal, and scandal. People searching for explosive proof that validates their fears. But Teyana gave them none of that. She offered something rarer, accountability without chaos. She admitted growth, admitted learning, admitted transition, without casting anyone as a villain. That decision may be her boldest yet. And there's a deeper current people are only noticing now. Her response reveals months of private processing. This wasn't raw emotion. It was digested, measured, mastered emotion. The kind spoken after tears have dried, after healing has occurred, after acceptance has settled. Instead of unraveling in public, we're witnessing someone who unraveled privately, then returned unshakable. That's power. It also flips the narrative for public women in breakups. Too often, strength is read as coldness, silence as guilt, vulnerability demanded on cue. Teyana rejected that script. She chose timing, clarity, dignity, and that forces the audience to mature, too. Suddenly, gossip is replaced by emotional intelligence. Drama gives way to boundaries. Speculation is eclipsed by growth. This moment is bigger than headlines. It's redefining public transitions. Emotional intelligence, public relationships, growth hover drama. Now, strategy. While people hunted for tears and tension, Teyana quietly shielded something far larger than a relationship story, her career. That's a part the internet almost missed. In personal upheaval, especially under scrutiny, a brand is fragile. One impulsive live stream, one chaotic interview, and focus shifts from artistry to instability. That can cost deals, partnerships, trust. But Teyana didn't give the industry drama to dissect. She gave them composure that matters. In entertainment, perception is currency. Producers don't just invest in talent. They invest in stability. She showed she could navigate pressure without cracking. Her handling sent a louder message than any statement ever could. She is in control. Silence wasn't weakness. It was armor. While rumors spun, she worked. While stories circulated, she built. She refused to let speculation define her. That separation between personal life and professional discipline is rare in a culture addicted to vulnerability. Critics expected cracks, emotional overflow, a public meltdown to confirm gossip. Instead, they got growth. Growth is harder to attack. Responding with maturity removes leverage. There's no viral clip, no scandal to weaponize, only clarity and boundaries. Boundaries don't trend. They endure. Her leadership as mother, artist, brand is now undeniable. She plays a long game. She's not reactive. She doesn't chase public opinion. She controls herself. That shift changes industry perception. She's no longer just a headline artist. She's poised under pressure personified. That branding is rare. Future narratives now land differently. She won't react immediately, won't engage in back-and-forth drama, will speak only when clarity demands it. That alone alters power dynamics. Beneath the surface, her response modeled boundaries, showed privacy isn't secrecy, silence isn't weakness, transitions don't need public autopsies. It resonates beyond celebrity. This moment feels bigger than headlines. A cultural shift. Not every detail needs exposing. Sometimes explaining just enough is the strongest move. Irony. The internet expected exposure. What they got was evolution.